Ali, pulling back the curtain with Vinny Ali, where we do deep dives in the creative mind. Today, we're going to talk about embracing the beautiful side of your youth. Now, you all know that I'm a huge Batman fan, but you might not also know that I'm an incredible Incubus fan. That's right. Incubus is a lovely alternative rock metal band that throws amazing lyrics into their work. They recently came to Philadelphia and they played from my favorite album, Morning View. Now, I've listened to this album countless times, and I have to admit, my sister got me into them in high school. My buddy Brian Salceter, he helped cultivate it. They became a huge impact on my life. It became part of my routine as an actor. What I would do is I would listen to Incubus while playing hacky sack and having a Coke Slurpee. And if I was feeling a little zesty, I'd wear a certain pair of boxer briefs. Now, these boxers had little palm trees on them. I called them my lucky shorts. But the big thing was Brandon Boyd's music, his lyrics, are what put me in the right mindset to be creative, relaxed, a little melancholic, but overall just like embracing the moment and just being calm in whatever creation that I'm in. I listened to them every rehearsal and every performance before. And my buddy Brian was like, hey, did you get your Incubus in? Did you get your Coke Slurpee? Did you get your Aggie Sack in? Because that is what calmed me down back then. So, that being said, they came back to the Wells Fargo Center and they played every single song from Morning View, which is my favorite, and I was floored by them. They had such a beautiful sound to me, and I felt like I was listening to the album for the first time all over again. I mean, I knew every single word. I mean, there's a couple songs that aren't my favorite, but when they came on, I lost my mind, and I was so happy and calm, but I was also sad and beautifully I was all the emotions that come about me when I listen to them. And what's amazing is after 24 years, they still got it. They still got it, and it's still just mind blowing. I absolutely love those guys. The thing about me is I don't really look up what people look like in bands. I just enjoy their music. Like, I couldn't pick them out of a lineup. Maybe Brandon Boyd, but it's one of those things where I don't like to put pictures with my music. I just like to enjoy the sound and the emotions and the feelings they create. That's just how I am. But I tell you though, I felt so cathartic afterwards. I had multiple people bail on me to go see the show because that's just what happens. You know, I do a lot of things by myself for that reason, because not everyone has the same interests as me, as the universe has pointed out. So I ended up just going by myself. I took this thing called the Crab Taxi. It's a shuttle system they have at Terminus. It was great. At reasonable parking. I had a shuttle that came to pick me up and then drop me off, and I had it was a very smooth experience. I didn't need alcohol. I didn't need anything. I ate a little something before, and I had a little bit of soda, and I was just good to go. Coincidentally, I had Coke with lime. A little bit different Coke Slurpee, but still. All I needed was some hacky sack, and I would have been back in high school. Back in high school, I actually was in a play called Jimmy Brunel's The Apple. I played a character named Moonshot. I was in an art exhibit, and I saw this apple that was placed on a pedestal. I didn't really know it was just some guy's lunch. But to me, it was the most perfect piece of art in the world. And I didn't want anyone to label it. I wanted everyone just to leave it be, allow it to be. And I even spoke through. I was like, do not label me. And it's this... I played him as a man seeking purpose. It was the first role where Mrs. Myers looked at me and said, you're thinking, you're processing, you are living in the moment. And we went on through a couple competitions with it, and they were having, you know, best musical, best this, best that, best set piece too. My buddy Brian actually created this black canvas piece where he took his hands and just kind of smeared it with white, so it looked like, you know, creepy hands, and he got a real praise for that one. And it was kind of like a last minute. We need something up here, a flat on this flat, and they get to the part where they say, and the award for best actor, and they nominated me. I was like, oh, that's crazy. And two other guys from my group, and they actually called my name. Yeah, I won an award for best actor, and I was like, oh my god, that's me. Oh my god, that's me. I, and like, I accepted this little medallion. I have it somewhere, and ever since then, Brian's mom, Barbara, has always said to me, I always believed in you as being an actor, because ever since that show, you did wonderful. And that's when I realized, you know, I could do this. You know, this could be the right thing for me. And Incubus opened my mind to it. Incubus, Coke Slurpee, and some hacky sack. I guess what I'm trying to say is, Courtney, you were right. I need to remember that young kid that loved to act just because of it. She said to me many times in various ways, remember when you used to do this because you loved it, because it was fun? Yeah, yeah. I've made a lot of friends and I've lost a lot of friends over the years, because that's what happens as you age. And I have one wonderful friend named Steph Meadors, Meadlrs. I hope she's doing well. She used to say to me, you know, I know you like doing film, but when you talk about theater, you just come alive. That's where your heart is. And I am a theater kid at heart. Deep, deep, deep down. I love it. The stage, the lights, the smells, the costumes, the prop room. I love going to the prop room. There's something so cool about it. Coincidentally, I was in Jersey near, I think it was Sunset Studios, where we shot The Condo. It's it's a short about a couple guys that one guy gets caught in debt with a casino, so they make a casino in their apartment or a condo, and they fight back to make the money they need for Mr. Chow. It was one of the biggest shorts I've ever did in my life. It actually went to Cannes and won Best Short. I'm not sure which Cannes, because apparently there's multiple. But yeah, that was pretty cool. So the first thing I was like, well, if we're having an apartment, we gotta dress this up. So I go down to the prop room, and there's like nunchucks, there's a basketball hoop, and we were just grabbing random shit. We even had, I think it was Schlitz, a Schlitz sign, light up sign, because, well, it's non-existent at the time. Oh, fun fact, my buddy John Tucker actually worked at a place called Schlitz and Giggles, I think it was called. Anyway, that was a restaurant that played off the whole, you know, shits and giggles, and actually brought back Schlitz, the beer. It was crazy. If you get a chance, look them up. They're out in Louisiana. This is how my mind works, kids. It just kind of connects all these things together. And it gives me enough time, I can bring it all around. I'm a worldly thinker, as I was told at a young age. Thank you, ADHD. It's a superpower and also a super deterrent and frustration at times. It was a magnificent, magical time being back in the gigantic stadium. My family are light blue collar. We work hard like blue collar. We don't make quite white collar money, but we're like right in the middle. So we enjoy concerts from afar in the high nosebleed seats, no problem. I actually didn't mind it. I was very, very high up. I was in row one, like 211. Yeah, row 211, seat row 13, seat 3. I was way up in the Wells Fargo, but I had a beautiful angle of it all, and I could feel the music, and I just enjoyed it. And I was with a group of guys from Delco, Delaware County, and we were just screaming and shouting. I mean, they were like really, it was cool. I found out that a couple of guys were doing a reunion, and this was the way to commemorate it. They were across the world, but they wanted to come together to go see their favorite band. It was just a really incredulous thing how music brings people together. And my mom asked me, how old were people there? I'm like, I couldn't really tell. It was just this beautiful hodgepodge of people. The band has been around for 24 years. 24 years. That's like, well, it's a little bit younger than me, but it's a long time. And I've enjoyed them for many, many years. I'll go back to them. That's my go-to band. It's my favorite band. I mean, absolute favorite band in the world. It takes me back to a place of creativity, comfort, and I realize how much I appreciate words because of Brandon Boyd. He is such a lyricist, and there's so much like power in words. I mean, I think that's why I enjoy Shakespeare, and I enjoy, well, I wish I enjoyed Shakespeare more. Sometimes I'm just like, I just don't have the capacity for this. But with Brandon Boyd, he'll say things like, I lean against the wind, pretend that I am weightless, and in this moment I am happy. Or, I picture your face in the back of my eye, a fire in the attic, a proof of the prize, anomaly, anomaly. Her name is Anna Molly, but the way he says it, it's like anomaly, like she's some kind of super creative, out of sorts, special being, beyond words and thoughts. How cool is that? He just he twists the words beautifully. I mean, it's really neat. And one of my favorite things he says is, the ocean looks like 1,000 diamonds strewn across a blue blaze. That's such great imagery. And I love the beach. When I was a kid, I would stay in the water for just hours. They had to pull me back out of the water for every time we go. I wasn't like swimming far. I just enjoying the water, enjoying the feel of it all. It was magical. The ocean, nature. And what's neat for me is I'm slowly embracing my writer side, because I've always been a writer, whether I wanted to believe it or not. I was listening to this wonderful book, and I can't remember its name off the top of my head. I'm sorry. But it made a point that nowadays we're all definitely writers, between the texts and the emails we write, the blogs and the comments. We're writers there. But even when I was a kid, I enjoyed the written word. I enjoyed clever turn of phrase and writing. And, I just never really was good at formatting. I was praised, though, for how I would write like I speak. And someone said it was a rare quality. I've done some Google, and they said, oh, it's not good to do that. I think that you will always find people that say something is bad when it's working for you. Not to say that, all bad things can be good and all good things can be bad. It's just you have to accept the consequences of how you do things, your actions. I'm okay that I write like I think and like I speak. When I was a kid, I was so afraid of being misunderstood. I actually had to go an extra year in kindergarten or preschool because I wasn't formulating words too good. My letters were a little bit off. That's just what happened. So, back to the whole writing thing. My buddy James Placius, magnificent horror writer, he got me into it more. We started creating our own content together. He's semi-retired, but for good reasons. So he finally found the love of his life and now has a beautiful growing family. I thought he was happy before, but now, like, he's at peace. He's found his person, absolutely, wholeheartedly. And because of that, it stops him from being creative. Double-edged sword. But you know what? I ain't mad. I'm happy for him. I often wonder if my acting career and this pursuit is what's keeping me from finding someone, or the fact that I don't have anyone that makes me creative. But then I also believe that because I've had so many great loves in the past, it has deepened my understanding of how to love and show it and share it with people, and has greatly improved my ability to share it. So, as you all know, I am a part of the 144, the Chosen Few, with Judah Priest, E Supreme, Twist of Flavor, and a lot of people I have yet to meet, and the Gang of Roses, which is the female group of the organization. I have been in more writing sessions with them over the past couple months, and it's been magnificent. I'll get there after work from, the day job or whatever, and I'll just sit there, 2 ears, one mouth for a reason, just listening to them create, perform, and then eventually Judah will look at me like, hey, I need you to put something on this track, and he'll give me like parameters, which is just all I need. And I will write furiously for like however long, 10 minutes, 5 minutes, 20 minutes, whatever, and I'll bring it to him like, hey, I got this thing, and I'll pitch it to him. And I've been very lucky with my stuff, and that pressure, that tension is what gets me to create. Oh, this is Bob Ross. Yeah, I know, silly. And I keep him in my room to give me more oxygen while I sleep. It's been a lovely thing. Anyway, I'm embracing my writing side with that. I'm also embracing, I think it's called the power of writing. I'm also journaling more, which has been very relaxing and helpful to just get my thoughts and anxieties out. Journaling, because the paper has patience, which is a beautiful sentiment. So, I just have to say, Brandon Boyd, thank you. Oh my God, thank you for an amazing time. Bringing me back to that wonderful place of creativity and joy that you bring me. I felt like a kid again. I've always been a kid. I'll always be a kid. But I felt more like that way back then. It was such a great album, such a great thing. And what was crazy for me is I kept seeing the 144 down there. Me emceeing, opening the acts, getting everyone hyped up for the show, jumping around, bouncing around, and just like watching these lead men just spin around, and like they all look like people that play hacky sack, because it's all this dancing and running and just rhythmically just building to crescendos. And it was just like, this looks like so much fun and satisfaction, and getting the audience involved, and when they are feeling your shit and singing your shit is just insane. Oh my God, I just blown away and floored by them. And I was thinking to myself, when I'm 64 and 70 and 80, hopefully 93, 97, we'll see. I'm going to have them play Incubus all the time. Yep. I'll be an 80-year-old grandpa listening to my music. Mr. Brandon Boyd, I tell you, ain't no one like him. Maybe he'll still be performing. That would be very cool. Well, I think I will draw this episode to a close and leave you with this final thought. Never forget where you come from, even if it's bad, even if it's good, even if it's indifferent, even if it's whatever. That is what made you you today. Do your best to embrace the good parts and to understand the bad parts. Because if you understand the bad parts, you can learn to identify when you get into those patterns, then you can change them. Hopefully for the better. Because you are not the same person as you were 24 years ago, 10 years ago, 5 years ago, 3 years ago, or even 20 minutes ago, if you just allow yourself to change the patterns. You have it. You're stronger than you seem, braver than you believe, and smarter than you think. Winnie the Pooh, smart guy. Pulling back the curtain with Vinny Ali, with me, your host, Vinny Ali. And I'm looking forward to being your next star, and I'm looking forward to seeing you guys next time. Thank you for your time.